Face front, true believers. This is Modular Media's No Prize podcast, a podcast where we talk about Marvel Comics, movies, merchandise, and more. I am your host, Chris, a Boingo Writer Gaston, and with me, as always, in the bullpen.
Representing the I forgot to read like half my poll list this week competition, the Vacuuminator is here.
Hey, sometimes that happens.
It sure does.
Sometimes it's a pull list, sometimes it's a pork list.
Sometimes it's, oh fuck, I didn't realize how tired I was. I gotta sleep in every day list.
Oh, Jesus. Is this just been a fucking week of exhaustion for everybody?
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, it's back to school season, so my work is ramping up, and we also, I don't want to say got rid of, but we offloaded the nephew onto other people, so it's a lot calmer at the house, but a lot busier at work, and so I come home, and I'm like, I should get stuff done, because I have the time, but also, oh god, I want to sleep. I want to just turn my brain off and play Batman for a couple hours until I'm ready to go to sleep, and then you wind up with shit like this.
Yeah. Well, and not better, but different news. My water went out. It got fixed temporarily, kind of. So it's all right. We're okay.
Can you drink at the moment?
Yes.
Redeem, take a sip of water.
All right, hold on. You're gonna get a slurp.
Yeah! Woo!
Oh,
Live wild and crazy lives here on the fucking Modular Prize cast of No.
Batman
What?
versus Scatman. Who would win?
Scatman. He'd just hug Batman and suddenly everything would be okay.
I mean, can Batman scat? But I mean, if the Scatman can scat, so can you.
That's true.
Does
Does Batman have access to Scatland, though?
Maybe through Wonder Woman, because we all know Wonder Woman can scat like no one's business.
Oh, yeah. Well, you bring Buttman into the mix, then everything just gets fucked up, Aki. We can't even do that.
I mean, he's so anal.
Mm-hmm.
What is this podcast? It's been chaos ever since the writer's strike and the actor's strike, because we want to be supportive of them. So we're not talking about any current shows that are happening right now, because we do not want to be assholes and whatnot. So
Yeah.
we're going back to the well. We're diving into some Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Season 2, Episode 11, Infiltration.
Part 2 of the free-part mid-season finale!
Yeah.
I remembered to say that this week. Buster, are you proud of me, person who actually watched this show while it was airing?
I don't think anybody can be proud of you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm messing around. I'm just fucking contorting this guy off camera, so...
Oh, Buster's proud.
Oh! Hooray!
Yeah, so this has middle part syndrome.
Yeah. This feels like it was gonna be a two-parter, and parts of this episode were gonna be a subplot in last week's episode, and then they went, shit, we need this to be a free-parter, and so they just stretched this out, because there's shit in here that just feels like going in circles, and there's also shit in here that just blatantly breaks rules they established in the very previous episode.
Yeah.
Like...
Hey.
They established last episode, in this universe, Skrulls need a machine to acquire somebody's visage and powers. They have to capture somebody in order to be able to turn into them. We see that happen with Skrull Cap. We see how he's made. And then in this episode, a bunch of Skrull Avengers just show up that have all their powers and everything. There's a Skrull 4 with a perfect replica of Mjolnir. And, like, in the comics, you can get away with that, because the Skrulls can just turn into whatever, whenever. But here, it's like, the fuck?
Vac, I think you are forgetting the fact that the fake Avengers showed up last episode.
Did they not show up this episode? I'm pretty sure this one opened with the craft crashing and then Carol finding it.
Yeah, but they showed up as part of Captain America's torture. They faked saved him. And Cap was like,
I thought it was like a hollow projection or something.
No. Why would you immediately go to holograms when you have a alien race of shapeshifters?
I don't know. Well, in that case, that's even worse. They broke that rule in the same fucking episode.
I think you're making up that rule. I don't think that is a rule.
The whole scene where they bring him on the craft and Scrollcap shows up, that felt like they were establishing they have a machine.
No, it's establishing that we kidnapped you so we can take your place.
Why would they show him that, though?
Because they're showing us that.
Well, that's just poor writing. We could have inferred. I don't know. The Skrull Avengers also just feel like they're in this episode because there has to be an action scene.
Yeah.
Like it's not enough that we can't just have Doom and Iron Man in one room and Nick Fury and his confidants in another room just talking to each other, working it all out. That could have been... You could have done like a bottle episode type thing, and I think that would have been way more interesting, honestly.
Yeah. It's not bad. I wouldn't say this episode is awful.
Oh, yeah, no. By, like, the general standards of cartoons, it's still pretty good. It's just like... This feels like... You know, it's like when a straight A kid comes home with a B-. You're like, the fuck happened?
Yeah. And plus, it's nice to see Carol get some more things to do.
I can agree with that.
T'Challa's a fucking badass in this, though.
I love that T'Challa is just taking nobody's shit. He's still holding firm on, nope, Wakanda's my top priority. And like, even with shit like, where you would expect him to soften up a little in most shows, fucking Carol figures it out, and she's like, oh, T'Challa, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And in most cartoons... He would go like, oh, it's okay. We're still friends. Come on, let's fix this together. He's just like, well, I assume you know what to do now. Like, come on, bitch, let's go.
Let's move. I am a king. I have shit to do.
Yeah. Also, the friggin' Dor Milaje design in this episode is great.
Yeah. 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 Oh, I loved all the cameos on Nick Fury's wall.
Yeah, just going like, hey, X-Men. X-Men are in this universe.
Well, I mean, this was technically supposed to be canon with Wolverine and the X-Men.
Is it those designs? I didn't bother to look it up.
I think so. I think it is those designs. It's the Cyclops design is different because Cyclops and Wolverine and the X-Men...
He had a stupid trench coat.
Yeah, because it's post-Jean Grey death Cyclops. So he has, like... the 5 o'clock shadow and the trench coat and the emo boy hair, and it's just like,
yeah, I've always heard that show is great except for how it treats Cyclops.
Yeah, but again, that was in the absolute Cyclops is a bitch era before we all went like, oh no, Cyclops is cool again.
Before people realized that like good boy leaders can be interesting.
It was a good show. It was a great Nightcrawler. I remember the Nightcrawler in that show being good.
I've never actually watched any of it myself, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do that on this show at some point.
Again, I was like one of those fucking... I love the X-Men kids, you know? So it's like X-Men. I don't think I've ever said this on air. When I was in elementary school, you know how... like little kids get in their head of like, oh, superhero, and they start being like little shits.
Yeah.
Toad.
Yeah, that checks out.
X-Men Evolution Toad.
That checks out. Having seen a few episodes of X-Men Evolution now.
X-Men Evolution's fucking great though.
It's alright for its time.
Yeah. It has one of the better Wolverine costumes, though. The orange and black.
I do not agree with that at all. I hate the way Wolverine looks in that show.
But yeah, no.
This show.
this show. Yeah, it was fine. Doom was cool.
Scroll Doom, which was another thing where I was like, I wouldn't expect that they would be able to replace Doom, but whatever.
X-Men Gothvolution. They may not have replaced them because remember, they're not caring about duplication anymore. They're just infiltrating. So it
They
may
just
be a
sent
person.
in a random Scroll Doom.
Yeah.
And the best part is that Scroll doesn't even have to shapeshift. They can just put on a replica of the armor.
Yeah. X-Men Gothvolution. You're saying it. That's exactly why X-Men Evolution's so great. Everyone is early 2000s alternative.
Oh boy. That's an aesthetic I never got behind.
Oh man, I got so hyped when I got like the little mini DVDs from Burger King.
Yeah, see, my sisters were both like very heavily into Avril Lavigne, so
Yeah, see,
that whole kind of shit always put me off.
That's mall punk. That's not what I'm talking.
It all looks the same when you're a kid.
Yeah, but it's not the same. Yeah, it's if it's not obvious, we don't have a super ton to say about this episode.
Because it feels like padding.
Yeah, here's the thing: if we get these 3 episodes like edited together as like a made-for-TV movie, and you could intersperse this in between the two, 10 times better.
I mean, like, there's solid moments in here. Like, we talked about the thing with Carol and T'Challa, but there's also the whole bit where Wasp shows up and she gets to punch Ant-Man, and she's like, "Oh, that felt good."
How can I be sure you're the real Wasp? Because I'm the cute, awesome one.
Yeah, I did actually pay attention because I had time to watch the episode twice this week. If you pay attention, you can actually notice that the voice actress for Wasp, she's doing it's the same voice, but she's doing it at a slightly lower register for the scroll version.
That's neat.
I couldn't tell if that was happening with anybody else because most of them, they didn't have their direct double there. But like with her, you can very clearly tell it because at first I was like, oh, is she pitching the regular one up more so than normal? And then I was like, no, that's how the normal ones always sounded. It's the scroll one that's like a change. That's good.
Because the Tony Stark scroll just sounds like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Maybe less snark in his voice.
Yeah. And I can't remember a fucking thing the 4 Hulk scrolls said.
I don't think they said anything.
They were just action set pieces.
Yeah, they were just action set pieces.
But there's a good Hawkeye moment with his scroll.
Yeah. Overall, great B plot for a better episode.
Yep. If this was like interstitials during last week's episode, I would probably have a lot less like towards it.
You know what the problem is? It's because it's not a true 3-parter.
Yeah. If they had just titled these 3 episodes Secret Invasion Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
And then interspersed everything to make it even.
Yeah.
Because
so I think next week is just going to be like a big fucking blowout battle with a little bit of resolution at the end.
Yeah. Because right now it feels like they're very much episodes for syndication.
Yeah.
Which, again, not bad. It's just... we're not mad. We're just slightly disappointed.
Yeah. We can't in good conscience take you to fucking Burger King tonight.
We can't take you to Chuck E. Cheese, but you can get Burger King.
Actually, yeah, no, that is the better one because Burger King fucking sucks. I hate Burger King.
Because you succeeded. You did well enough, and like you didn't fail. And you did better than average. You can go
to like Burger King, but we're not taking your ass to McDonald's or Wendy's. That's too good.
I'm using syndication as like a catch-all term. It did not meet the episode limit for syndication, but it was episodes made to rerun on Disney channels.
It was probably made for syndication. It just didn't get to be syndicated.
Yeah, but that is probably it for this episode. So let's talk about some the news.
Yeah,
some Huey Lewis and the news.
Yeah, not a lot of great stuff going on this week, but we'll try and make it through as best we can. Because first and foremost, we actually have some real world news this week, because those of you who are longtime viewers of the show might remember we reported a few months ago Jonathan Majors' trial was supposed to be this past Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
It got pushed back,
Yeah.
reportedly because they're still in discovery and they need more time for that. Which, for those of you who don't know, that's court speak for information gathering. They're
Yep.
still trying to get all the evidence together. So the new date for it is now the beginning of next month. I saw some people on social media saying that like it's possible that this was done because the new Loki trailer just dropped and he's in that for a second. I don't think so.
No.
I really think this is just straight up a court thing, and I'm still very much in the camp of I think it's entirely possible this whole thing is just a huge mix up and he's going to end up being acquitted and not actually be a secret asshole. But I remain open to the possibility he could be found out to be a secret asshole. We
Like,
shall
here's the
see.
thing: he may be a secret asshole, but he may not be a secret criminal.
Yeah.
Like, and those are two completely different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very much leaning on he may have had some bad moments in his past. He's probably been an asshole before, but I don't think he's done a lot of things, especially because the other party in this whole situation had fled a while ago, and I don't know. I haven't heard anything about them finding her.
Yeah, this is the first time I've heard about the trial in like a month, so.
Yeah, so that may also be part of the discovery of trying to get her fucking
Yeah.
ass.
Can we wait another month to see if we can get her extradited?
Yeah. This isn't adaptation news. This is just
This is real world shit news, and this
Yeah.
is like the one thing related to this kind of stuff. The next bit of news is actually all related to the strike.
Yeah.
The next few things.
When Alexandria Rubalcaba worked as a background actor on WandaVision, Disney scanned all background actors' faces and bodies to create digital replicas. She won't receive any payment, knowing the replica is used, and didn't give permission. Disney.
Yeah, so this is something we'd been suspecting for a long time, but this is the confirmation of it, because this is the first time I've heard anybody say this happened. In order to save money on these Disney Plus shows, they scanned a bunch of people who did extra work on WandaVision into computers so that they can have them just be digital extras in all the other shows.
Yeah.
That's fucking gross.
Yep.
Especially because you didn't tell the people you were going to do that, and you're not paying them for it.
Yep. It's gross. It's bad. Don't do it, Disney. If that's what you have to do to justify making some of these Disney Plus shows, don't do it. Just do one show a fucking year, I guess. Don't fucking do it.
Or write a show that doesn't need a ton of extras.
Like Loki.
Mm-hmm. Loki, you need like 3 people to play nameless TV agents in every scene.
Yeah, fucking
amazing that for like all their problems in the last couple of years, Hasbro's the only one that hasn't totally embarrassed them out of the 3 big companies that are having 100th anniversaries this year.
Yeah. But we got some more stuff. Thousands have gathered outside the NBC Universal lot for one of the biggest picket lines in the entire WGA SAG-AFTRA strike. This is following the studio blocking off pavement outside the lot for weeks until today.
Yeah, pretty crazy. A lot of the stuff I've been seeing as far as like actual strikes happening or actual picket demonstrations happening in the last couple of weeks, because you have this, you have the whole situation with the trees outside that one studio that people got real riled up about.
I think that might have been Paramount.
Yeah. Paramount had a bunch of trees outside their studio. People were picketing there and using them as shade. and Paramount had people come and cut them, and the fucking mayor of LA was like, actually that's illegal. You didn't get a permit for that. We're gonna slap you with a big ass fine, bitch.
And it turns out the fine is only $250.
Yeah.
But that's just because that's a pre-established fine. They did what they could.
Yeah, still.
Within
And then there's this with NBC Universal was blocking off their building for weeks and weeks, and then it got through legally that like, hey, you can't be doing that. Doesn't matter what your excuse is, because I think they were saying like, oh, we're remodeling or something like that. And immediately everybody in the area went and picketed there for a few days, which is just fucking wonderful, honestly.
yeah.
And
major stars donated $1 million each to SAG relief fund, including Oprah, Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Leonardo DiCaprio, Lucina and Matt Damon, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, Hugh Jackman, and Deborah Lee Furness.
yeah, it's really interesting to see a lot of big Hollywood people kind of showing their true colors in this whole situation with a lot of people who like, even though we've said there's things we don't appreciate about them, they're doing the right thing and they're helping the people on the lower end of the totem pole. Like, for as much as I've shit on him on this show because of the whole Black Adam situation, Dwayne Johnson apparently donated the single biggest one-time donation of anyone in the entire history of the strike funds.
Mm-hmm.
And all these other people are doing this, and at the same time, then you have Stephen Amell making an ass out of himself.
Yeah, and he immediately tried to walk that back, and it's just like, God, no.
No, fuck you, dude. You said that. You need to own up and apologize for it and start
recognize.
fight.
Yeah.
It's
and it's not even like it was like how Matt Damon was taken out of context to make it seem like he didn't want to strike.
Mm-hmm. Or how Tom Cruise for a minute there was going like, could I get like a waiver? Could I not have to be involved with this? Like, I approve of you guys doing it, but I got shit to do. And it's like, no, Tom, get on board.
All right, fine.
And
also, George Clooney donated.
Yeah, and like at the same time, I would say with all these big donations happening, it can be easy to think like, and the strike fund managers themselves have said like, oh yeah, we have enough that we're prepared to keep going for up to 6 months right now. We're perfectly good. We're in this for the long haul. If you can, don't stop donating.
Yeah, no.
Like, I gave $75 to each fund out of my check this month, and I intend to keep that up until the strike is resolved. And I would encourage everybody else to do a similar amount. You don't have to do as much as I did. You can do more or less if you want to, but just ship in whatever you feel is appropriate for the entertainment these people have provided you with over the years, because this is we used to defend all the time. There used to be this constant argument in a lot of the spaces I was in of like, oh well, you shouldn't pirate. You should get a streaming service because that way you're supporting the art you claim to enjoy. And more throughout this whole thing, we've found out that that's not really the case. And here you have a chance to support these people directly to get the money they deserve for their hard work. And I would encourage everybody to give that a go.
Yep. And I mean, here's the thing. This is just some of the big name stars that we know have donated. Doesn't say that there haven't been others who've donated because, you know.
Yeah. And as a little added incentive, if you donate, Sleepwalker will give you sweet dreams.
You'll make a lamppost do a wiggle.
Yeah.
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 In some what we'll describe as bittersweet news.
Yeah.
Donny Cates is missing 6 months of his life after a car accident.
Yeah. So we've talked about this a little bit on the show here and there about him dropping off various books and us not really knowing what's going on with him and being a little worried, but there's no updates. Well, Donnie Cates bumped into our old pal Sal at Comic-Con and asked him to tell people via his show what's been going on. So, since you're the bigger Donnie Cates guy, Boingo, I'll let you take it from here.
Basically, he got into a pretty severe car accident, and has basically been trying to rebuild his entire life ever since then.
Yeah, from what I heard, he was basically severely concussed to the point where he had to relearn a lot of basic motor skills.
Mm-hmm. Also, apparently, he's missing a lot of memory.
Yeah, like he just doesn't remember the time since the accident and a good bit before. So like he joked like, "Oh, I get to read my books and be as surprised as everybody else."
Yeah, because Sonny Cates did make an official statement somewhere. I don't remember where it was exactly, but it was very tongue in cheek. It was very light. It was very. Hopefully, I'll soon be able to get back to doing whatever it is you guys like that I do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um.
That being said, this is a very situation. The man almost died, and we don't know when exactly he'll be back at full speed because it's very much a day by day thing right now. And he did release pictures that I believe are in this news article, but I am going to go ahead and make the call that we don't show them because they
I
are
already.
they are quite fucking gruesome.
They're not. No, it just seems like a couple stitches. Um. Yeah, but he survived. And that's the kind of sweet part of this is like, yeah, he went through all this thing. He's up. He was at San Diego Comic Con. He was on his, like, he was moving. He's not in a hospital bed still. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like he's close to being back to normal, which is probably why we got this update, but still it's pretty scary that
Mm-hmm.
like something like that can happen, and because it's the comic book world, we didn't even know about it until this long after it.
Also, he recently divorced. So, like, that on top.
Yeah, like
Oh, you
things
went
ain't coming up Donnie right now.
you went through a near fatal car accident, and now you're getting divorced. Oh. And apparently I did watch the podcast where Sal mentioned this. He did
Yeah.
say, like, Donny Cates has always had a stutter. It's a little bit more pronounced now. So, like, there are, like, he's probably never going to be 100% kind of person anymore. And
Yeah.
that happens with accidents like that. It's like, you can never tell.
But hopefully he will come back from this and still put out some of the best stuff of his career after this, you know?
Oh man, I cannot wait to see the fucking independent book like God Country that tackles this.
Yeah,
That's gonna be heartbreaking.
I can't wait to read Car Crash Man coming 2026 from Donny Cates.
Yeah, but uh I'd like to say sorry to all my fans and friends on YouTube trolls or whoever else it seems like I've just disappeared. I've had to relearn how to tie my own shoes and feed myself and all that boring crap. But I assure you, a little brain damage won't stop me from doing whatever it is I do that you all seem to enjoy so much. That's a direct quote from Donny Cates.
Yeah, and you know I love relating all art forms to professional wrestling, and I would say this is one of those cases where you can definitely look to that because there's been examples of lesser known artists surviving harrowing circumstances and coming back and doing some of the best work of their career. There's a certain kind of off the beaten path classic guy that some of you might have heard of by the name of Ric Flair, who survived a fucking plane crash
Yep.
before becoming the Ric Flair we all know today.
And it sucks that it, like, because I remember hearing rumors when Donny Cates just disappeared, of like, oh, he's back into
People
his,
thought he relapsed.
yeah, and like, again, it's not unfounded. Like people do that. That's a thing that happens, and Donny Cates would not be any lesser of a man if that happened. But it's just shitty that people immediately went to like thoughts like that, you know.
That's what people knew about him, and if that's all you know, that's where your mind's gonna go. Like, I don't think it's a good thing that people talk that way, but it doesn't entirely surprise me either.
Yeah, but hey, we wish the best to Donny Cates. We hope to see a very speedy breaking TMNT gaming news.
Oh, did they fucking announce the last Ronin game that they've been talking about?
Hold on. Let's
Oh shit!
What?
The Ninja Turtles are gonna be in Street Fighter 6?
The trailer's playing, everybody.
Yeah, I'm watching it on my other monitor.
Oh no, they're costumes. They're costumes.
Okay. These are some 2000 free ass designs, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So Leo was definitely Rio. Okay. No, okay, they show you who's who. So, Rio is Donnie, Leo is Cammy, Raph is Luke, and I can't remember the new girl is Mikey.
All right.
Well,
that's cool.
Hey, I mean, it's TMNT, that's comics.
Yeah, I've been on a bit of a Turtles kick lately. I've actually, because I bought that 4-pack, I started reading the original Mirage series.
This is awesome. Keep doing crazy stuff. First the comic, now this. Oh, dude, that's why they're doing it. There's a TMNT Street Fighter crossover comic going on right now.
Oh, okay.
I read the first issue. It was fine.
Nice.
I was going like...
That would kind of be my summation of the Mirage comics so far, at least. I just got to the first appearance of this fellow, which is why I picked up this figure.
Casey Jones.
Yep, NECA Mirage, Casey Jones. And so far, it's like, this is quaint. It's interesting to see where things came from. I've been told about this version of the Turtles over and over again. So to actually experience it, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right, I see what this is. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This would have been really funny if I had read it at the time, and now it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah, because it was a parody of its time, and now it's
Frank Miller's Daredevil.
It's a parody of. It's been parodied so many times itself.
Yeah, it's been parodied so much that it just kind of reads straight to a modern eye.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely forgot. Right now, Evo's happening in the Street Fighter 6 top part of the tournament's happening. So that's when they announce things. So they're like, yeah, of course they're gonna announce that. That's neat.
All right.
But hey, guess what else got announced?
Yeah, speaking of comic announcements,
Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos for October.
Yeah, this is going to be a 4-issue miniseries from Stephanie Phillips and an artist whose name I don't remember at the moment.
Carlos Manjo.
Yeah,
Magno.
And it's essentially going to be what if Cap Wolf shit happened during World War II.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I know you're a big Cap Wolf guy, so I figured I'd put this on here just for you. I don't think I'm going to read this. I'm not much of a horror fan, though I can be gotten into horror. And we'll talk about that a little later tonight.
I just love Cap Wolf because it's such a weird, specific, iconic Captain America that has no reason to exist.
Has there ever been a Cap Wolf and Frankencastle crossover?
No.
There really should be.
I do have the Cap Wolf Marvel Legends. That's my Captain America. It's the one that has the wolf head.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an accessory, so I normally have it as regular Cap, but I can make him Cap Wolf whenever I want.
Yep.
Rumored Marvel Legends, Spider-Man, No Way Home, and Avengers Infinity Saga Wave coming in November and December.
Yeah, so if you remember, just a few weeks ago at SDCC, they did a couple of image teases for potential future Legends stuff at their panel of a Doc Ock tentacle and a thing that I couldn't identify, but is pointed out in this article is very clearly the magic box Doctor Strange has in No Way Home.
Mm.
Um, and so people have been putting together like, oh, there's there's long been rumored a No Way Home Wave 2 of Marvel Legends. And then people found in Target's computer systems something that basically confirms it. We'll be getting a Infinity Saga wave in November that will be Civil War Iron Man, Civil War Spider-Man, Winter Soldier Stealth Suit Cap, Winter Soldier Black Widow, Iron Man Movie 1, Iron Man Mark 2, For the Dark World 4, Avengers movie Nick Fury, and Avengers movie Bruce Banner. All of those are probably going to be like a little bit of reuse here and there, but mostly new sculpt to bring them up to current Legends standards because we've had a lot of those figures before. But also, we did see some of those at SDCC. I think we saw Banner, Widow, and Iron Man Mark II. So, kind of lends credence to the idea of this being a full wave. And then it's long been rumored that we'd get a No Way Home Wave 2 that would be individual releases of that Spider-Man free pack with unmasked heads and then the villains from that movie. But according to Target listings, people are saying that it's going to be releasing in December. Toby Spider-Man, Andrew Spider-Man, Tom Spider-Man, Matt Murdock, Mary Jane, which I wonder if that means Michelle Jones, or if there's like gonna be a friggin' Kirsten Dunst in this wave.
Who knows?
Green Goblin, Sandman, and the Build-A-Figure will be Doc Ock.
Okay.
I could be down from that. I would actually prefer Sandman as the Build-A-Figure because then you could have him get like really crazy. And they've done that with Legends in the past. But I understand you want to make sure those tentacles are as good as you can make them. So
Yeah.
given that the Build-A-Figure budget does make sense. Personally, I'd probably cherry pick both these waves. I would love to build that Doc Ock, but I don't know how possible that's going to be for me, especially because it's hitting in December. That's a tight money time for everybody. And like I can understand Hasbro doing it as like, oh, this was the biggest, most recent MCU thing. Making this our holiday offering makes sense. But it's also like, ouch.
Yeah. Hey, it's like trying to get the sweet berries off a very thorny bush.
Mm-hmm. It's like I'll do it, but shit, guys.
Fuck.
Bring the peroxide.
Marvel Comics Amazing Yamaguchi Rebel Tech Thor. Look at this
Yep.
beautiful man.
We saw this at a Kyoto show not too long ago, but we got the full official solicitations this week. And yeah, it's a Rebel Tech 4 that's very clearly based off of the JMS era design. And I gotta admit, I'm not feeling this one. I think the proportions look a little wonky. I don't like how it tapers off at the legs. And on the arms, some of the gaps around the muscle sculpting really bother me. Like there's a huge cup around the Reveltech joint for like the bicep that you can see in one of the shots that just looks
Yeah,
gross.
I see it right there. I don't mind it because like you're like to me that's part of Reveltech. It's like that's what you buy a Reveltech knowing proportions are going to be a little weird.
Fair enough. And I will say this positive about them. First time they've done a wired cloth cape on a Reveltech, and it doesn't look half bad.
No, I love Reveltech figures. I want some so bad just because they're like amazing Yamaguchis specifically. They look so fun and dynamic. Like Amazing Yamaguchi Spider-Man and Deadpool. Oh god.
Mm.
Like some of these poses is like that's straight up beautiful cover image.
Yeah, and that is the big advantage of this line. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I can get behind it, and sometimes I'm like, nah. And this is one of those nah moments for me.
Like hold on. Can I zoom in? Can I make this bigger? Nope, can't make it bigger. But like that just pose, just flexing the muscle. It's super barbarian, and I like it.
Yeah.
But we also got new DC Retro Batman 66, Wave 8, Superman, Lord Death, Bat Robot, and more.
Yeah, so Todd is in the middle of the McFarlane Summer Toys showcase that's going to be going on all this month, which is basically just here's official photography for all the stuff we showed you at SDCC, and
Yeah.
this is the first thing out of it that I was like, yeah, this is kind of interesting. We could talk about this for a minute. So first of all, you have a Superman that's based off of the Batman 66 Superman George Reeves comic book crossover. Uh I don't really like this one too much. The face sculpt looks nothing like George Reeves to me. In fact, it looks like a Michael Myers mask.
No, you know what that mask makes me think of? It
What?
makes me think of Ben Affleck playing George Reeves in the Hollywood movie.
You know, you're not the first person I've heard say that, and I don't see it personally, but sure.
It's specifically that one scene with the kid with the gun.
Mm.
That's what's making me think about it. But yeah, it's also kind of like a little ghoulish that a man who killed himself for the fact that he was only ever recognized for one role is now being immortalized in a toy for that one role.
Yeah, but Todd wants toys of the ship from when he was a kid, so.
Yeah. Another Batman.
Yep. These are just straight re-releases of the original Robin and Batman from this line, which I guess makes sense. You know, the line's pretty far along now, and it's obviously doing well given the fact that we're like 5 or 6 waves in now.
Yeah.
So re-release those old Wave 1 figures for the people who are just now getting in and want a basic Batman and Robin.
Yeah. And we got Robin. Look at him. Look at that 20-year-old man in short shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Bat Robot. Was this
Yep.
ever in the show?
I think this is purely a comic book thing. I had never heard of it before this figure, and I keep forgetting to look into it, but I do really like the design. There's something wonderfully retro future about it.
Yeah. It's a robot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's Mike Allred art in the back.
Oh, maybe it was from a 66 comic that Mike Allred drew.
Maybe. Fucking Lord Deathman.
Yep, fucking Lord Deathman, the villain from the Batman 66 manga, who is literally just what if a shocker grunt got ideas above his station. This is the one that this is the first figure from this line that I'm like, yeah, I kind of want that.
I mean,
Because I don't think he's
Deathman's...
ever had a figure before.
No, but he's also come back in the comics recently.
Yeah. I actually am kind of hoping these go on clearance at some point because I would love to army build these as legit shocker grunts.
I love how he just has a fucking katana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lord Deathman.
Remember, kids, don't fucking touch swords.
And then we got Joker being a menace to society.
Yeah. I assume this is based on like a specific thing, like either the comic or a specific episode of the show, but I've never seen this look before.
Yeah, there was a Batman 66 manga.
Yeah, it was actually a fairly popular manga back in its time in Japan, and just recently, like within the last 5 years, got a reprint from DC.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Did they sculpt the mustache into the 66 Joker?
Yep.
Cool.
That's been there since the first Joker.
Good. That's all that it needs.
Yeah. But that is all the news.
That's all the news.
We're still in post SDCC, not a lot is happening mode. But, we got about a half hour out of that, so not terrible.
Yeah. Oh, you ready to talk about some comics?
I'm ready to talk about the comics I did read, but right up front, I'll just say for people, I didn't read Love Everlasting, I didn't read Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I didn't read Doctor Strange, and I didn't read Fantastic Four. I'll swing back around to them next week.
Yeah. But you know what you did read?
What the fuck did I read?
Steelworks.
Hey, Steelworks number 3?
Yes.
Yes, number 3. I actually really enjoyed this issue. There's a really solid scene right in the middle of this that is just Superman and Steel in a room debating the ethics of like outmoding superheroes in a universe that is entirely based around the adventures of superheroes. And it's really cool seeing like this very gentle handling of these characters where John Henry Irons is like, this is my life's work. This is what I have always been striving towards. If I can make it happen, I'm going to make it happen. And Superman's like, yeah, you should.
Well,
Like, the whole reason we do this is so one day we won't have to. So nobody will have to. And if you can make it so nobody has to, then fucking do it, man.
but it also had very much a vibe of like, yeah, make the free energy thing. We'll figure out what we do after people are safe.
Yeah. Also, somebody fucking remembered that Lana Lang has had powers since DC Rebirth, and that made me real happy. Somebody's paying attention to continuity.
Oh yeah. Like, you know what it may be though? That maybe like whatever happened with like convert, like something happened and
Yeah.
like the universe forgot, but now this is remembering and the either way.
I mean, whatever you want to do, as long as we're dealing with that shit, because that book was legitimately interesting, and nobody read it, so it got unceremoniously canceled.
But overall, it's fun. It's nice to see how this whole situation hasn't made the Steel family, like enemies of the super people, right? It's like, no, we understand why you're doing it. It just feels a little sudden, and it just kind of feels like you're attack. Like, are we all cool? It's like, yeah, we're cool, but like, what if we can't rely on you guys all the time? You're people. We need to be able to be a little like, you know, that kind of like, it's nice. It's nice to see.
Yeah, it's like I initially didn't want to be into this book because it felt like it was very much doing something that I always look at the idea of like trying to outmode superheroes and make everybody super in a comic book universe, and I'm like, yeah, but they're never gonna let you do that. Editorial's never gonna let that happen, so why bother writing a story about that? But this is getting legitimately interesting in the interpersonal politics of arguably the most important superhero of all time and his associated characters. So I'm enjoying the ride for the moment.
Especially because a big part of it isn't like, I want to make everybody superheroes. It's, I want to give everybody free energy that will eliminate a lot of the strife, that would eliminate a lot of the problems that superheroes have to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, it's a different take, and it's like very altruistic. It's good.
Yeah.
Good shit. I read Moon Knight number 26.
What nights is he mooning on tonight?
Well, this is a Hunter's Moon episode. It's all about Hunter's Moon.
Oh boy.
He goes and talks to the therapist. And he goes like, so I came back to life. It's like, yeah, you Moon Knights do that. Yeah, we do. Problem. Khonshu had very little power, so I'm a little fucked in the head right now. And basically, he is both alive and dead at the same time. So he is super connected to all the previous Moon Knights.
Oh. He's just like, permanently in the Avatar state.
Yeah. Legit. Also, there are some mole men who worship Khonshu.
Because of course they're... I think you mean moloids?
Yeah, but like they're fucking moloids, like worship Khonshu.
I mean, moloids are like their own race of people. They don't all work for the mole man, so I guess that makes sense.
But Hunter's Moon is their preacher, and they go like, "Hey, dude, something's going on. Can you help us?" And he goes to do whatever it is, and he gets into a bad situation, and the very first Moon Knight possesses him and makes him go on a caveman rampage.
Oh my god.
It's fucking great. It's so fucking great. Also,
Have we met the first Moon Knight before, or is this like the current writer is making shit up?
I think this is new lore.
Okay.
I think this is new lore. Like, there always has to have been a first Moon Knight because there's been previous Moon Knights.
Yeah,
But I
but
don't
I'm like trying to work up to, if they're introducing a first Moon Knight, they should do an issue that's just like the entire origin story of the first Moon Knight.
Yeah. Also, you may notice in all the Marvel books we're going to talk about this week, this little square right here. Who are the gods? Well, my children, Jonathan Hickman's project is coming out, and they want to cross promote it. So in basically every issue, there's like a 1 to 2 page cutaway to what's Jonathan Hickman doing.
Mm-hmm. It's essentially a fucking Kamen Rider Super Sentai movie. The new show is about to start, so here's one scene where the new guy shows up.
Yeah, but it's like over the course of like all the books, and some of them are a little bit more well integrated, some of them aren't. This one was fine. Was not out of place. But we both read Peacemaker Tries Hard, issue 4.
Snowflame is back in comics again.
Snowflame is back, and he's lamenting that they're not in the coke field 80s.
Fucking misanthropic. Back in my day, you kids have it too easy. Snowflame is not something I ever would have guessed I needed, but holy fuck, is it great? And now I'm like, yo, can we get live action Snowflame in season 2 of the Peacemaker show? Because that would go hard. That would fuck.
It's legitimately like back in the day we used to fucking sell drugs. Now we just sell cheap knockoff sneakers. And we make more money.
It's legitimately a wonderful issue, and it made me so happy as like a longtime fan of the character who got introduced to it through online internet review bullshit, and like somebody who just got into a channel that just brought Snowflame back to prominence again with a big video. So like it is Snowflame's time.
Snowflame's time. There's also like a lot of just good moments where Peacemaker and B-Man fucking just harass an elderly villain at a fucking Denny's.
Mm-hmm.
And Peacemaker threatens, if you don't give us the information, I'm gonna shove this napkin holder up your anus. And he goes like, I am
as old as time itself. Do you think that's never happened to me before? Because yeah, it has, and it was really uncomfortable. So let me just write the address down.
He calls Amanda Waller and goes like, hey, I need help fucking saving Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dog. Jesus fucking Christ.
She considers fucking killing him for a second. She's like, this fucking guy, he's on his last fucking bullshit.
This book is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing.
Also, their freaking pilot is like a 100-year-old dude who's a World War II veteran that trained with the Blackhawks when he was 12.
It's fucking great. War Wheels. Here's the best part about this book is it feels like they looked at what James Gunn did and said like, all right, cool. You have a budget though. We're a comic book and we can go 10 times harder.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Starks, I've never read anything by you before, but this book has impressed me so much so far. If you don't have a bright future in comedic comic writing, I'll be fucking shocked. Like, you could have a character-defining run on Deadpool in the next couple of years, and I would think it would be entirely earned based off of just this.
You know what? Here's the thing. DC's been trying to make their own Deadpool for years. They have it. They have it with Peacemaker now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just put some of that John Cena isms in the main continuity.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be right there. That's the right mix of like sad, pathetic. You have sympathy for the character, but he's also an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Also, since we've already brought Sal up once this episode, I want this book on the couch.
Oh my god. Ben and Ethan.
I want to see Ethan reacting to some of the shit in this.
Oh, it's so good. You read City Boy issue 3.
Yeah. This is, my God, this issue really surprised me because, like, so far this book has been just good enough to get by and keep me reading it.
Yeah.
But this issue, it fully delivers on the cover because it's literally just City Boy gets away from all the bullshit that was happening last issue of his own lore and everything, and he's really upset and confused about everything. And then Superman shows up and just talks to him. He just talked through City Boy's problems and where he's at in his life right now. And Superman is he's just a pal. He just helps him process some shit. And eventually City Boy is like, all right, I got to go deal with shit. He's like, all right, whenever you want, I'll be willing to talk. Just let me know. And it's like, yes, that is how you have Superman cameo in a book. He doesn't show up and solve somebody's problems with his powers. He just helps them work through their bullshit. It's really well written. All the dialogue is really nice and wholesome. I would fully recommend picking just this issue up if you just want like some good Superman cameoing in a book content.
See, yeah, that's the thing. So, like with every new character, you need to have a moment. In DC, you need to have a moment with a heart-to-heart to Superman, and in Marvel, you have to have the fucking team up with Spider-Man. It's like, hey, great power, great responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a heart-to-heart with Cap.
Yeah.
But hey, you enjoyed it. That's good.
Yeah.
I read Fantastic Four number 10.
Tell us all about it, Mr. Boingo Man.
Do you want me to spoil it? Because I can keep it close to the chest.
I mean, don't like spoil it, but tell me what happens.
This is straight up a Twilight Zone episode.
Okay.
It's an alien ship and shit's going wrong. And like it is horrific and all this kind of stuff, and then the Fantastic Four show up. That's all I'm gonna say, because to say any more will tip the hand too far.
Interesting.
It is really good. It is genuinely one of my favorite single issues of Fantastic Four in quite some time.
All right.
It is genuinely that fucking good.
Nice.
Yes. I read Scarlet Witch number 7.
Hey, what's Miss Witchy Poo up to this week?
So, you know how last time I said Magneto showed up? And I said, it's probably not Magneto.
Not Magneto?
It's not Magneto, it's his clone, Joseph.
Oh, boy.
Remember Joseph, everybody? And he goes like, hey, I know this is probably extremely awkward because I look
You're
like
not my dad!
Because I look like your adoptive dad. And she's like, yeah, it's a little awkward. But hey, you're your own person. We can deal with it. You obviously need help. And he goes like, yeah, and I'd like to help you out as well. And I try to figure out what the fuck's going to happen, you know? And they're like, all right, cool. And then fucking Problem shows up and she goes like, I'd love to continue this conversation, but I gotta solve this fucking bullshit. And it's a dude who has the power that if he puts his hand on a book, he can make it real.
Oh, that explains all the Wizard of Oz looking bullshit on the cover.
Yeah, so he put his hand on the Wizard of Oz and was like, alright, I love Wizard of Oz. I'm gonna summon it, and I'm gonna be the King of Oz.
Oh dear.
The Wicked Witch was like, nah, bitch, I'm gonna kill all the other witches.
Is that who the Lady Bullseye looking person on the cover is, or is that somebody else?
That's somebody else on the bottom.
Okay.
Um, she's basically like, I'm gonna steal the slippers, do all that kind of stuff. Scarlet Witch shows up and goes like, all right, which battle? She solves the problem and everything, but the guy the entire time is an annoying asshole, saying like, oh, I should be king and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, no one, you have no right to subjugate anybody, all this kind of stuff. And with the way she solves the problem, and she's like, all right, cool. You want to be king so much? Here, go try and be king in the book. I
Oh.
put you in the fiction world. And all the people he's fucked over with the fiction that he summoned just show up and go like, oh, you're in our world now, bitch. Yeah, it's good. No, the character on the bottom is a new character who's going like, the Scarlet Witch knows magic, but can she deal with me? It's just a reveal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it ain't big, it ain't bad. It's just what it is. Really great issue, great art.
So they just moved right the fuck past Contest of Chaos, huh?
Kinda, yeah.
Mm.
Also, Darcy is crushing on Joseph hard. She's like, I'm sorry to say this, but the clone of
Darcy
your dad...
likes stilfs?
He's kind of more like in his late 30s, early 40s. Due to like when clone and how clone and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So she's just like, I'm sorry to say this, but the clone of your adoptive dad is really hot. That's just like, Darcy, I do not need.
And that's when you put wow, our lives are weird in the story.
But good issue, good Scarlet Witch. I also read Doctor Strange. I will not go super into it. But basically, this is the backstory of General Strange that we saw last issue.
Oh.
Yep. As well as a little cameo from Wynn from the Gods. He shows up while Doctor Strange is fighting the war, and he goes like, "Hey, you still fighting that war? Yeah. If you die, can I have all your stuff?" Get fucked, Wynn. All right, bye. Literally, that's it. That's why he shows up. It's hilarious.
I do love shit like that, though.
But it's like,
that's pretty good.
It's like a great introduction to this shit grin eating fucking man that it's just obviously gonna be like one of the main characters. But it's really good Doctor Strange book. Nice. We both read issue 25 of X-Men Fall of X. This is so fucking good.
This was a fucking hard read, man.
Oh, very hard, because it's just following Shadowcat.
Yeah.
And that's her name now.
She's going by Shadowcat again.
Oh.
Kate Pride is no longer Captain Kate Pride. She is Shadowcat, and she's gone full Wolverine. Mm-hmm. She's full like angsty. I am gonna. She literally says, "I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice." During this, because she's like, "I'm the only one that can use the gates. Everybody thinks I'm dead. I'm just gonna fucking run guerrilla missions, killing a bunch of Orcus people all the time now."
Oh yeah, and everyone knows. Like, everyone wants to say, "Hey, Kate, don't," but they're also like, "Kate's doing a good thing and a good job." But it's also killing her inside. Oh, fuck. I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good.
And there's some little setup and check-in for everybody else, some of which is more palatable than other. I fucking hate how they deal with the Kamala shit in this. It feels so hand-wavy.
It is, but also it's like, whatever. We're moving on. But I also like Kamala, what she does, because Emma's just like, hey, I made it so you could just go back to your life and not worry about this. And she's like, yeah, but I'm a superhero, and I would have been helping you out even if I wasn't a mutant.
Mm-hmm.
That's Kamala.
That's good writing for Kamala right there. Not good continuity. We gotta put out a Kamala book at the same time as all this shit. writing.
Yeah. Also, fucking my boy Cyclops. He's
Yeah,
being
no, he's
held by Orcus, and they don't want him to use his eye beams, so they sew his eyes shut.
that's rough, buddy.
Fuck. It's all kinds of rough. It's all kinds of bad. But that fight scene with the fight scene right after the Hellfire Gala, where she pops out of the portal at the end credit scene, because we flash back to that, and it's just like, oh, what happened then? Oh, you know all the body horror shit that we've always implied with Kate's powers? She's just gonna go full on.
She has to do it because they have to keep thinking she's dead, so she kills all these people in really horrible, like hard to watch ways that are clearly hard for her to do, and then she has to fucking hide their bodies.
Oh, she hides them in the roof.
Mm-mm.
Not in the building, in the roof. Some of them are also fucking brutal. Like, she pushes a gun into a guy's head.
Yeah.
She fuses two people together.
Also, you know what I thought? I fucking realized when you were talking about Cyclops just there?
What?
Beast survived for a reason at the end of that Wolverine arc.
Ooh.
And that reason is metatextually, they want to bring him back in a few months just so they can do a storyline called Beast Was Right.
Fuck! That would be that would be such... And it would be the right kind of medicine, because, like, we say Magneto was right and Cyclops was right because, like, they had the right intentions, but they were doing the wrong things. And now they're just twisting it on us. Oh.
Yeah, if that doesn't happen, I'll be fucking shook. I'll be coming to Benjamin Percy's booth at Comic-Con and being like, what the hell, man?
But man. Also, the one Orcus member was like, yo, wait a second, the X-Men saved my life on the fucking satellite. The, the X-Men don't kill people. The X-Men don't kill people. And she's like, yeah, you're right, the X-Men don't kill people. Shame you got rid of them. And kills him.
Oh! And it's also like, dude, you're asking for mercy, and you're still fucking on the Orcus shit? Yeah, no.
Oh, the worst part, though. She leaves for her next mission. Firestorm has to die. Uh-oh.
And that's the other thing. We also get a ton of follow-up from the Hellfire Gala, seeing that, like, Orcus now has, like, a really strong media presence and a lot of support behind him. And part of that is Dr. Stasis going like, not all mutants are bad. Look, this is Starfire. She was my double agent on the inside the whole time, and isn't she great?
Yeah, it's it's so bad. You know what's the worst part? This feels like a Days of Future Past, Age of Apocalypse future, but it's right now.
Yeah. Oh, and fucking, we keep bringing up, this is like a big issue, and there's so much shit in it. But, like, the other thing is, Shadowcat goes to Arakko. We see that some people did actually make it to Arakko, and it fucking sucks for them there.
Yeah,
because all the Iraqi are like, oh, you ran away, you fucking weaklings, we're gonna hunt you for sport.
Also, there's a civil war going on if you haven't been reading X-Men Red. Nothing is going right for the mutant population. Oh, God. Fucking X-Men. Mwah. Top tier writing.
Yeah. Good shit.
Also, the Shadowcat costume. This is great.
Love
great
it. Need a Marvel Legends of it. Need some fucking Orcus Trooper Build-A-Figures or Army Builders, please.
Ooh. I was going to say, like, yeah, but also a hideable, like, hole through them so you can put, like, a sword or an arm.
like option parts that come with them that are specifically for the Shadowcat figure that's in the same wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Just
could be neat.
brutally murder them. Oh, like it's so fucking badass seeing Kate do all this shit, but you're also going like, no, you're Kate Pride.
You were in such a good place not 6 months ago.
Oh, you read Dark Droids.
Yeah, Star Wars Dark Droids is the new Star Wars comic event that's just kicking up right now. I just poked my head in on the first issue to see if it was at all interesting, and turns out it actually is. I've talked before about like I'm not really a horror guy, so I tend to avoid horror comics unless it's really good. This is actually a pretty interesting take on a horror comic because it's essentially a zombie story, but there's a virus infecting all the droids that's like been in the galaxy since time immemorium and is like reawoken and whatever cosmic bullshit you want to explain it as. But there's like a really good job done of giving you a sense of foreboding in this issue because a lot of this first issue is just like panning across the galaxy and giving you little snapshots of various characters that have been important in the comics lately. Like, obviously, we check in with Luke Han and Leia, but you also see Vader, you see Dr. Aphra, you see a couple other characters, and it's just like reinforced that, like, hey, each of these characters has a droid that they very heavily rely on. Like, that is a thing in the Star Wars universe of these people rely on droids a whole hell of a lot. And there's also like some uncomfortable ethical questions about that. And we're going to use that to create a horror story here. And like the end of the first issue is Leia asking 3PO to do something, and then the last page reveal that 3PO's been infected, and it's like, oh shit, where does it go from here? And like this was it was a really good first issue just for like that very well done structural execution of the concept. I thought, will it be good and interesting from here on out? I don't fucking know. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna read the rest of it because I think it's like an alpha and omega thing where it's gonna run through all the Star Wars
Yeah.
books at Marvel's right now. Um, but I don't know. I might poke my head in again. Like Star Wars comics aren't really my thing, but I do like checking in on them every once in a while. And this was a case where like, hey, Charles Soule is still doing good stuff with Star Wars. Also, oh yeah, that's where Charles Soule has been for like the last 4 fucking years. I forgot about him, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He's been in charge of Marvel Star Wars for like a while now.
Here's my thought immediately. Didn't The Mandalorian have an entire episode dealing with this?
Yeah.
Isn't
And I
there?
mean, he would be like a teenager at the point this story takes place because I think this is between Empire and Jedi.
Mm,
But you could have like a little one shot that shows teenage Mando getting fucking traumatized by droid zombies.
some more droid trauma. Uh, we both read Adventures of Superman, John Kent, issue 6, the Injustice Saga finale.
This was really good.
Yeah.
I've been kind of harsh on this book lately because it felt like it was dragging its feet with this story, but like this last issue was so good that I almost found myself going like, "Oh, wait, it's over now?" Cuz like
Yeah.
this issue is just the thing you've been waiting for the entire fucking arc of John actually confronting evil Superman and being like, you're not Superman. You fucking suck. You go against everything you're supposed to stand for, and I'm going to save Batman and Catwoman, and I'm going to reset the universe back to how it was when I found it, and I'm going to tell you off and tell you to get good, and right when it seems like you're going to turn around, Cyborg fucking sends me back. God damn it.
Yeah, but he also like learns like, yeah, I can understand why Dad doesn't want to fucking do more because he's afraid he'll turn into that.
Yeah, which is like also a good overarching thing because that was in the first issue of Taylor's John Kent Superman, and everybody online threw a shit fit about it of like, oh, way to ruin John, writing him as a bratty teenager who doesn't understand his dad, and don't you know you're not supposed to actually talk about that stuff in comics because it destroys the suspension of disbelief because if Superman was real he would do more. Blah, 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 blah. Taylor was doing a thematic thing all the way along. Like, I don't know if he was specifically planning to have John meet Injustice Superman and learn it that way all along, but like the fact that that moment is in here tells me like he that moment way back in the first issue was set up for a payoff like this, and I think it was done rather well.
Mm-hmm. It's solid. It's good. I can't wait to see what happens with John next.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the fucking Beast Boy event.
Beast Boy event. You read some Wayne Family Adventures.
Yep, I caught up on Wayne Family Adventures. I read episode 84 through 96.
Oh.
And it's it's Wayne Family Adventures. It's good, it's cute, it's solid. There's some fun stuff in there. They've started experimenting around with the format more this time around because they have a couple episodes of Superman Family Adventures mixed in this time around. And those are even more cute and fun than you would expect them to be. And yeah, it's Wayne Family Adventures. The book is good, it's comfy, it's it's to superheroes what Bluey is to animation, I would say.
Yeah,
It is
you
just
probably had to have watched a lot of Bluey due to Nephew.
Yep. Oh no, I've seen every episode of Bluey like twice now. So like I can tell you like I think it's a very similar vibe of like this is just a fun, safe, comfy way to enjoy these characters and learn a little bit about the world and yourself.
Nice. Nicey, 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 nice.
Yeah.
Nice, Caesar-chan. We both read Astonishing Iceman #1. I thought this was pretty good. And it's interesting what they're doing with Iceman.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it of like this isn't the best thing I've ever read, but it's an interesting take and for as hand wavy of the explanation of how he survived the Hellfire Gala is, it does work and it sets up an interesting status quo that I assume we're going to be playing around with quite a bit going forward.
Yes, which for people who don't know, he died in the Hellfire Gala, but his boyfriend Romeo has powers that do something, and he's able to bring him back, but only so much as far as like he's connected to Romeo. Like they have to be together, like close to each other, for Iceman to be able to constitute himself. As if he's away for any length of time, he drains power. And honestly, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, like Ultraman."
A little bit, yeah.
And I really like what Iceman's doing. He is running distraction.
Yeah, he's just being a big flashy superhero so that Orcus will have a target.
Yeah, and avoid some of the other X-Men. And I'm like, yo, you mean you're doing what every cis white gay man should be doing in LGBTQA fucking demonstrations, being the big flashy target because you can fucking take it out more easily. The cops won't harass you as much because you're a white man. You know?
And it's also just varying Bobby's character as the kind of younger, free-spirited show-off of the X-Men.
Yeah, but it's also like he acknowledges it about himself and he uses it for that purpose. It's a good, interesting thing to have a little bit of levity for this current X-Men slate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not levity, ignore everything else. It's levity because of everything else.
Yeah. And I will also say, like, for as solid as this book is, it did take me a good couple pages to, like, fully get into it just because I have fucking Fox Iceman still like so cemented in my head as like that's who this character is.
Yeah.
That it took me a minute.
Yeah, there is also just another good moment for everybody going like, "Oh, why are they doing all this stuff with X-Men? Why are the X-Men in all these books?" Romeo states it plainly. Yeah, they're attacking mutants right now, but you know who's next is Inhumans. And I'm not gonna wait till we're next. I'm helping you now. And it's just like, yeah, that's intersectionality, buddies.
That's how racism works.
That's how discrimination works.
Yeah.
Don't let it be about racism. Don't let it be about LGBTQA. Don't let it be about neurodivergency. Don't let it be about disability. Don't let it be about anything like that. We're all in this together, and we help each other. Yeah, Iceman good.
So it's a good book.
I think my biggest complaint about it is it's just, and it's not even like bad writing, is it opens on the most it opens on a pride parade in San Francisco. And it's just like, I get it. You're trying to reinforce that Iceman's gay. Brian Michael Bendis did a dumb
and he
way
kisses a random guy after saving him.
It's like, I get it. It's like, the rest of the issue isn't hammer on the head, but like the beginning of it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not bad. It's not horrible. It's not cringe-inducing. It's just like, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Let's go.
Yeah.
But the fight's fun. Him using his powers, he's using his powers in more interesting ways.
Yep.
Yeah, good. It's good Iceman shit. And that's all the books we read this week.
Hey, fucking no prizes done before midnight. How about that?
How about that? It also helps that we didn't start at fucking 10:30.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, pal, buddy, friend.
Hey, friend, pal.
Want to tell people where they can find you?
Hey, everybody. I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos. They're things I'm fairly proud of when I want to be. You can find them here on YouTube at the Vacuuminator. I'm also on TikTok posting my older videos in clip form. That's at the _Vacuuminator. I also have an Instagram where I post daily action figure photography. That's also at the _Vacuuminator. I have a Twitter and a Tumblr where I collate those things. That's at the Vacuuminator and thevacuuminator.tumblr.com. But now, finally, I'm in the process of being free and emancipated from Elon's bullshit. I'm on Blue Sky. It's at thevacuuminator.bsky.social. Go follow me there. Hang out. Be free of billionaire bullshit for at least however long until Blue Sky gets bought by a billionaire. And be cool with me. Come join me on Blue Sky. I'm going to be giving out invite codes as soon as I get all the other Modular boys on Blue Sky, and it'll be a good time.
How many invite codes do you get?
I was told you get 2 invite codes every 2 weeks. That was the most recent thing I can find. But apparently they've changed the rules a bunch of times in the past, so I don't know if that's still the way it works or what.
Okay.
But right now, plan is I'm gonna, as soon as I get an invite code, you're gonna be the first person I get on there. Ooh. Then Buster, then Snowcone, then we'll make a Modular account.
All right. Hold on, I have ice in my mouth. I'm chewing. All right. Hey, howdy. I'm Boingo Writer. I do a variety of content on the internet. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Boingo Writer. I make YouTube videos at Boingo Writer. I make variety of video reviews and video essays. I also am on a variety of social media platforms at Boingo_Writer, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. I am on Tumblr, link in the description. And I am on Mastodon at Boingo_Writer at vt.social. And eventually I'll be on fucking Blue Sky, I guess.
Yeah. I need to get you on there first so that you can, like, do all the research shit that I don't want to do.
God damn it. You're using my hyper-focus and interests against me.
No, I'm using it to Modular's advantage. Don't make it sound like a bad thing.
But speaking of Modular, this is No Price Podcast, part of Modular Media. You just watched this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, leave us a like, give us a comment, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Ding!
Damn, you sound like a fucking food reviewer now.
See you later, Busto. But also, if you like this podcast and you want to hear some more, we have some more. We have Components, which is just a hang around, shoot the shit. Sometimes we interview people. It's fun. We also have Flickety Flackety Analytical Fanboys, where one of us picks a piece of media, we force the others to watch it, and then we have a discussion about it. This last episode was about G.I. Joe, Rise or Pentor Arise. And the next one, if you want to watch it and so you have thoughts while we talk about it, we're watching G-Witch.
Yep.
We also have This Week in Tokusatsu, where Buster and Vac talk about the week in Tokusatsu. If you don't know what that is, it's Japanese special effects. There you go.
Have you heard of the powerful Rangers?
Have you heard of Beverly Hills Tattooed Teenage Aliens?
Have you heard of the Mystic Knights of Tirnanog?
Have you heard of that one movie where the kangaroos have karate powers?
Have you heard of Tank Girl? Tank Girl's a fucking tokusatsu, and you know it.
Oh, it is. Here's the thing. If you go by like a Japanese definition, most movies are tokusatsu because they use special effects.
Oh, yeah. The fucking Tim reminds me of that all the time. We were watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure the other day, and he's like, this is the best tokusatsu ever made.
Yeah, it's like saying, like, yeah, no, Avatar is an anime. It's just to piss off anime fans.
Yeah.
To make them recognize that what they're engaging in is just animation.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, speaking of animation, we also have SMP, Saturday Morning Panels. Would you tell the people about Saturday Morning Panels?
Saturday Morning Panels is Modular Media's dedicated Transformers and G.I. Joe podcast. We're once a month on the third Thursday of every month. Myself and Snowcone83 read classic issues of the Marvel Transformers and G.I. Joe comics, talk about them, as well as some of the latest news and new releases from those properties.
Okay, so here's the thing. When we first started doing all the shouting out the other podcasts, you had a blurb like that for Twit, and eventually it devolved into, do you fucking watch it if you like Tokusatsu? How long will it take till Saturday Morning Panels devolves into just like, do you like trucks? Do you like monkeys?
It's probably going to be like November, January, somewhere in there.
All right, let's see if that happens. Let's see, everybody. Make note of this episode by liking it and commenting on it.
Yeah, engage with the algorithm, you fucks!
And until next time. In fact, do you have anything else you want to say?
Aspire! Speed bomb! Kick!
I'm 26 years old.
Enough said.